Oh my god, I've been waiting for this game for so long and now it's finally here. Oh my gosh, this is so much fun, I can't wait to... Ah, so it's gonna be one of those games. Hello and welcome back to An Epic Wombat, and the finals is finally here. And no, I'm not talking about that thing you should be studying for right now that you're just currently procrastinating. For those of you that don't know, the finals is a 3v3v3v3 objective-based FPS where players try to capture cash-out stations to gain the most bread. It ends up playing out a lot like if King of the Hill was mixed with your standard bomb game mode from like CS2 or R6, and it's a lot of fun. The game is made by former Battlefield devs as well, so the maps are completely destructible. This significantly changes how you approach any given problem, where the solution is now probably just to blow it up. The finals gives you 3 distinct classes for you to choose based on your playstyle: the Clown, the Bozo, and the Giga Chad. Let's start off with the Clown, which, a lot like a court jester, you only really need one of. I said we only need one of them. One of you should really swing. Okay, never mind, I guess we're running 2. The Clowns are the mobility class of this game, able to get in and out of fights quickly and dealing high burst damage to be able to assassinate lone opponents. Unfortunately, there really aren't that many lone opponents in this game, as sticking with your team is already kind of the best strategy. Also, you just die sometimes.
Contestants are projecting big spirit in the arena.
Don't get me wrong, Clown's not a bad class, but they just don't bring in much utility, and the other options just seem better. Speaking of, next up we have the Bozos. They're the support class of this game, healing up allies and rezzing teammates faster than you can say. Ma'am, that is an 11-pound whole slab of deli ham. It has no bones, fat, or connective tissue. It is an amalgamation of the meat of several pigs, emulsified, liquefied, strained, and ultimately... They're also the class that gets access to the basic ARs, which are very strong in this game. Their team utility, though, is what makes them good, as they have both the jump pad and the zipline. The Bozo is probably the strongest class in the game, able to do almost anything other than destroy things. If only there was another class that specialized in destruction and was a perfect fit to pair with the Bozos.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
Oh yeah, you know what time it is. The Giga Chads are here to smash their way through walls, floors, and enemy players alike. Big damage and big destruction characterizes the Giga Chad, with shields, explosives, and the most fun weapon in the game. The Giga Chad has both the RPG and the explosive mine, each of which do enough damage to one-shot a Clown, which is kinda funny but also really annoying to play against. They also have the C4, which can be turned into an intercontinental ballistic missile, because of course it can. I sure do love balanced game mechanics. I personally main the Giga Chad with the stick. I know it's not optimal to play the stick, but there's nothing more fun in this game than whacking people with the stick. For me personally, the Sledgehammer is the only weapon in the game that I play enough to feel like I can actually give other people's tips on it. So welcome to Sledgehammer Mini Bootcamp. The Sledgehammer is an excellent close-range weapon that is completely useless at any other range. But an Epic Wombat, you may ask, isn't the shotgun just better? After all, it also does insane close-range damage while not being completely useless at medium range. The Sledgehammer has both a regular swing and a secondary fire, the regular swing doing 115 damage and the secondary doing 200 and destroying structures. To use these effectively, you need to make sure that you're playing cover and focusing on not drawing too much attention to yourself. Then you surprise them, either jumping out from cover or crashing through a wall or ceiling. Another thing to note about the Sledgehammer is that it deals its damage in the middle of the swing. This means that you can animation cancel the swing with a melee attack, increasing your overall DPS. For example, the fastest way to kill a Clown is not to use the secondary, but to swing and then melee, as that still does 155 damage. The optimal way to kill a Bozo is to swing, swing, melee, and for other Giga Chads, it's secondary, swing, melee. Shout out to this Sledgehammer video where I learned about that. One final thing with the Sledgehammer that I struggle with as well is not overcommitting. The other classes will outspeed you, so you can't chase random Clowns across the map because you will die. This is an objective-based game, so stay with your team and play the objective. You can dish out some great damage and get some sick team wipes. Overall, the Sledgehammer really isn't that good, but you can still use it to make tons of plays, which just speaks to the balance of this game. This game is pretty balanced for a new game. It's pretty impressive, honestly. That being said, there are a couple of things that I would personally change in the next balance patch. Since the game is so new, I don't think the devs should worry too much about the meta yet, as it's going to change anyway as the community gets better at the game, but they should focus on making the game more fun.
What is fun? Let me spell it for you. F is for...
The defibrillator. I hate this thing. You shouldn't get rewarded for running into the middle of a team's line of fire and using it. Instead, make it more like Lifeline's Res from Apex, where there's a 3 or 4 second animation of them getting off the ground where they're still vulnerable. In my opinion, this is the most busted ability in the game, and it's not even close.
U is for...
Using the stun gun shouldn't completely counter all melee weapons. If you don't have a gun, there's no counterplay to getting hit with this thing. You die every single time. I'm not 100% sure how to balance this one if I'm being honest. Maybe make it so you can still sprint while stunned, or maybe instead you can still specifically use your Q ability. I'm not sure.
N is for...
No more one-shotting lights. RPG and explosive mines should have their damage drop to 140. Also, probably nerf C4 while you're at it. This probably isn't everything that should be changed, but that's what I would do and then see what happens from there. So editor's note here, after I started editing this, they nerfed the RPG, C4, and explosive mine, which is all good, but then they buffed the stun gun though, which... I don't know about that one. And then defib remains unchanged, which I disagree with, but maybe changes are coming in the future. Although I haven't been disappointed enough with this game yet, which makes me think that there's going to be a big disappointment on the horizon. We'll see. In terms of what I think the meta is though, I'd say either double Giga Chad Bozo or double Bozo Giga Chad. These combinations just have so much sustainability and deal so much damage that there's not really anything you can do about them. The only way I can see clowns getting into the meta comp is at very high ranks for the glitch grenade. Considering how good mind spam is, it might be worth bringing just to counter that. I do have a feeling that this game's going to play out slower and slower as people get better and learn how to hold objectives, but maybe I'm wrong, and the destructibility of this game keeps it fresh and fast-paced even as the community as a whole gets better. Before we go though, let's hop into a round of rank to see how it goes.
We're watching the last contestant on the Jet Setters with the first cash out of the match. It's all over, folks. That's a wrap.
Overall, I've been really enjoying the finals. This game is just so unique. It's like no other FPS I've ever played. The destruction makes sure that no 2 rounds play out the same. The weapons are all really cool, and there are a bunch of interesting ones that I didn't even mention, like the riot shield and the dagger. There's just a lot to this game, and the skill ceiling is really high, which gives me hope that this game will continue to thrive for years. At least as long as I stop getting 2 lights on my team. Like, why? Do you guys really enjoy running in, getting 1 kill and dying that much? Oh well, at least I can still use old reliable.
Just a setback in the arena, it's a financial hit on the scoreboard.
The mighty can't afford to lose another member. One contestant.